Hello, fellow hockey fans. I am the hardcore puckhead, and this is my mid-season report on the NHL's only All-American division, the Metropolitan division. And I am still trying to wrap my head around how Washington seems to be kicking ass this season. What is going on? Washington seems to have the Metropolitan division on lockdown. They have a 15-point lead in the division. A 15-point lead. How is this possible? Now, I know they acquired some key players. I know they got TJ Oshie, Mr. Shootout, for the St. Louis Blues. I also know that they lost Joel Ward to the San Jose Sharks. But they still have Ovechkin and Backstrom and all those other cogs. But I didn't expect them to be this good. I mean, they have 74 points. They have the best record in the league. They have the best record in the league. They have a huge lead by 15 points over the Rangers. And that's another story I'd like to get on. The Rangers are going backwards. What the hell's going on here? Why are they not in first place? I don't understand it. To me, the Rangers have one of the best goalies in the league. Henrik Lundqvist, he's a brick wall. He's one of the three toughest brick walls in the NHL. Well, actually, I should say four. I should say four. Let me put it this way: each division has like this one goalie that just stops everything. Every division has one goalie that just you can't put pucks through. The Central has Varley. The Pacific is Quick. The Atlantic has Price. Though some would say Rask, I say Price. And the Metropolitan has Lundqvist, Henrik Lundqvist. He was the main reason, in my opinion, that the Rangers went to the final 2 years ago. But let's stay on that. They went to the final 2 years ago, and here they are now, looking up at Ovechkin. And I still have a theory on this. I think Ovechkin is pissed. I think Alex Ovechkin is mad. Think about it. His old coach, Bruce Boudreau, who's now with the Ducks, reached the conference final before he did. This is the same coach that many say, and I believe this, Ovechkin basically ran out of DC. And now here he is, here in the OC, with the Ducks, and he got him to the conference final. A level that Alex, who's been in the NHL now for 11 seasons, is still yet to reach. And see this how Sidney Crosby, who was drafted that same year, has already won a cup. All of this is pent up frustration. He's got all of the rest of his teammates just revved up, scoring goals left and right. They're beating everybody. It's ridiculous. They got this big stranglehold in the Metropolitan division, and it shocks me. Now, actually, I don't know why it shocks me, because Washington always does seem to do well in the regular season. It's after April that's the problem. It's after April that's the problem. They are the biggest playoff choke artists the last decade. Especially Alex Ovechkin. He pulls a disappearing act when the Stanley Cup playoffs start. We don't see him. But enough about Washington. Like I said, the Rangers are free falling, and I don't know what's going on with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been going backwards for the last few years. Pittsburgh is in fourth place in the Metropolitan division, and they are barely in a playoff position. It's between them and the Devils for the second wild card spot. The Devils are in the playoff position, which is good, because it used to be back in the day you couldn't picture the Stanley Cup playoffs without the Devils. The Devils. Here's a fun fact: the Devils have been in 5 finals since 1995. 5 finals in the last barely over 2 decades: 95, 2000, 2001, 2003, and 2012. All with Brodeur to hell. Of course, he's long retired now. Only the Red Wings have been in more since then, 6. But But that's impressive. That's an impressive stat. But the Devils, these are not the same Devils from yesteryear. These are not the same Devils that had players like Scott Stevens and Bobby Holik and Patrick Elias and of course Martin Brodeur. No, this is kind of a far cry for that team, but they're not a bad team. They've got a good group of young players led by Adam Henry. They can win games and beat teams at the right time, but they need to do it consistently. The Devils are knocking on that door. They are knocking on that door, and with Sidney Crosby ahead of them, they need to use a battering ram. They really do. And like I said, the Rangers need to wake up. Rangers need to wake up and get with the program, because they are primed for a playoff position. They are primed for a playoff position. They are in second place, but there is a close gap between second and sixth in the Metropolitan. The Carolina Hurricanes actually have a shot. First off, I'd like to know what the hell's in the water they're drinking down in North Carolina. You have the Panthers in the Super Bowl. The Charlotte Hornets got a few good wins. They could be playoff bound. And now you got the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes, again, another far cry team. Remember, this team made the finals in 02 and 06. They won that year, but they're definitely not that team anymore that had that BBC, that had that whole BBC line. Bates Battaglia, Rod Brindamore, and Eric Cole. I remember that line. And Carolina's scrappy. They got good enough players. Will they make the playoffs? The second half will tell the story. I'm not saying they won't. I'm not saying they won't make it, but I'm not saying they're shooing. It's too crowded between second and sixth. I do know one thing. The Blue Jackets won't get in, though they are giving a hell of an effort. Since hiring John Tortorella early in the season and firing their old coach. The Flyers. I wouldn't know how the hell the Flyers are in seventh place. I guess because somebody had to be, or they're just not gelling. It's crazy. I don't know what's been going on with the Flyers for the last few years. They were in the playoffs 2 years ago, but they can't seem to do anything now. It's odd. And like I said, the Rangers winning the division. That's out of the picture. That's not. I don't think that's going to happen. The lead in the Metropolitan is too large, and then Washington shows no signs of weakness in the regular season. They're saving that for the playoffs. Sorry, I had to get that in there. But it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a crazy Metropolitan division. I love that division. I actually like the name. A lot of people don't, but I actually like the name. It's a remnant from the old Patrick division. You got Washington is now rivals with those New York and Pennsylvania teams again. It's great. And you got Crosby and Ovechkin in the same division, which is even greater. And so we'll know soon enough if they get it. One good thing about this year's standings is the Rangers and Islanders are 2-3 in that division, which means if the season ended, they stay that way. We get an Islanders-Rangers playoff series, something I thought was going to happen last year, but Washington beat the Islanders out last year. So like I said, we'll see where this goes. I do know one thing. The Capitals winning that division is it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they're going to clinch, but it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. Rangers should get in. Islanders should get in. Pittsburgh, I don't know. Like I said, it's tough to choose between Pittsburgh and the Devils. I'm surprised. It surprises me to say that, considering that Pittsburgh has the best player in the league, but nothing's going right for them. So anything can happen. Crosby could end up missing the playoffs. Twitter's gonna shut down or break if that happens. But who knows? It's hockey. It's hockey. Anything is possible. That's what's so great about this sport. So that'll do it for my review on the Metropolitan Division. And keep an eye out for my next video, which will be about the best division in the league, the Great Central Division, where the Avalanche sit among with other beastly teams. I'll say that for that video. So stay tuned, puckheads.